So I was very excited going into Obsession, not only because of the hype that seemed to be following the film due to festival releases, um, but also because over the last few years I've become a fan of Curry Barker and the films that he has made. The first thing I saw of his was the short film The Chair, which I remember thinking was a very interesting one, and a very distinct punchy horror thing vibe to it. And I was also a fan of his found footage horror film Milk and Cereal. All the things he's done, really. And then I've watched a load of his short films as well, his other short films that he's collaborated with Kubla Tomlinson over. And so I was always going to be excited to see whatever Curry Barker was going to be doing. And I remember seeing a trailer pop up for Obsession and seeing from director Curry Barker and just thinking like, oh, very nice. He's doing a bigger film, like a big budget film. Well, maybe not a big budget, but, you know, a wide released horror film he's making. So I was excited for it. And I am pleased to tell you all that I loved Obsession. I'm so happy that I fell on this side of the hype, because very often when I hear a load of hype around a horror film, it's not that it rarely gets me excited, but usually I find myself like, okay, good, that was very good. I don't love it though as much as many others do. Like with The Substance, I thought it was very good, really good actually, but I didn't fall in love with The Substance, nor did I fall in love with Sinners. All these films, by the way, that I like a lot, and I think they're absolutely great. I just didn't fall in the, oh, I love this one. Whereas Obsession, I don't think I'm obsessed with it, but I do love Obsession. Really big fan of this one. I'm less than 24 hours removed from watching it only once at the minute, and trust me, I am itching to watch this film more than once. Whenever I get a chance within this week, I might try to fit it in again. So yes, I'll try to talk about my thoughts of Obsession in as coherently as I possibly can. I think what really drew me into this film and thinking about it again, and again, as I briefly mentioned, like when talking about Curry Barker's short film The Chair, that has such like a punchy horror aesthetic and vibe to it, and I think you could just see that in Curry Barker's work, and it shows here as well how Curry Barker's horror isn't really there's no horror set pieces in a traditional sense. There's not like this sense of like we're building to a horror moment and then we have this release. It's just this tone and this unsettling feeling throughout, and then there's moments of, oh my fucking god, that's insane. I just want to warn everyone now, I am indeed going to be talking spoilers about Obsession, so if you haven't seen Obsession and you want to, stop watching this video now and go and watch Obsession. I love it. There you go, there's my spoiler-free thoughts on it. Go and watch it. And I think Obsession does have just this really like it got under my skin. Even now, thinking about a lot of the stuff, and even like I've been listening to the score today, and the score is great. It's an absolutely phenomenal piece of music. Is the music in this film for many reasons, and even just listening to the music, I was thinking about scenes, and I'm thinking about moments, and I'm thinking about performances, and I could just feel it under me. And it's been quite some time since a horror film has done that specific feeling for me. Bring Her Back got deep in me, I will say that. Like last year with her Bring Her Back, I felt like this pit. I felt just like, oh, like I felt it like it almost felt like my heart was punched with Bring Her Back. With Obsession, I didn't necessarily feel like my heart was punched, but I almost felt like this, like under my eyes. Like I just felt like almost like I felt chills. There was so many moments in this film that gave me chills on not only on a fearful level, but also on an emotional level. And even, as I said, to the point of where, like, I started feeling it under my eyes. Like, I almost want to cry. I didn't come close to crying or felt like there was any moments of, like, oh my God, I'm getting emotional in this. But there was so much going on within Obsession that just made me want that release. Which is so effective, man. It's so effective. I think I'll talk about performances first because I feel like I'm going all over the place. I think the performances are absolutely insanely great. I know a lot of people are talking about Indy Navarrete, as they should, who plays Nikki in this film, who's absolutely phenomenal. Going into it, I was thinking to myself, I hope that she doesn't just play crazy girlfriend, that there's something more to it than that. I was hoping that both on a performance and a script basis, and I think both put my fears to rest. Within the film, I'll get to Curry Barker's writing in as well, but more in depth. But we get more of Nikki is definitely a sympathetic character, and that's within the writing. And oh my God, that is so in Indy Navarrete's performance. And I am not a unique voice when I say I am so excited to see what else she does. And God, I hope she has an absolutely amazing career after this. And I think it's silly for me to say that, like, oh, gee, I hope she gets award love, because I don't think she will. Although, as of right now, she might be the best performance I've seen all year. And again, there's moments of, like, obviously she plays the horror elements extremely well with the creepy smile, and the moments where she's, like, standing, in the corner in the dark, and when she's screaming, and when she's doing the horror things, when she's being a horror character, she's amazing. But what really sets the performance apart from just being that was a great horror performance, is we see moments of her, of the pre-possessed Nikki. I don't want to say possessed, although there is a possession element to this film, I guess. But especially, like, the moments of when it starts, when Bear first snaps the wish, the one wish willow, and she starts first being a bit obsessed, and then there's moments where she jumps, there's like a snap to it. It's like she goes from being a bit like manic obsessed girlfriend Nikki to then immediately back to just being normal Nikki. And she's like, whoa, what the fuck? And it's like, and what Indy Navarrete did within that, she just snapped back. And to do that so seamlessly is so impressive. And again, there's moments where, like, I feel scared because of Nikki. But I think more so than that, I feel more sympathetic. I feel more sorry for Nikki than I do fear Nikki. And the film does a beautiful job in the sense of, like, no one person is the source of fear, but this situation and this scenario and this setup is scary. Like, there's no, like, one presence. It's like, oh my God, they're a terrifying thing. It's like, oh my God, this whole situation is horrifying, which I think makes it more unsettling. And of course, I have to say, apart from Indy Navarrete, who's absolutely sensational, and I don't think I'm doing her much justice with what I'm saying right now, but she's amazing, and anyone who's seen the film will agree that she's amazing. She does more than just being a psycho girlfriend. She has a lot. There's a lot to her. But I also have to give praise to every other performer in this, man. Like Michael Johnston, who's the lead, who plays Bear, is great, is absolutely excellent. In order to carry this film, you need someone who, in order for someone to carry this film, obviously, again, Indy Navarrete is amazing, but she's not the main character. She's not the protagonist. It's Michael Johnston as Bear, and there's a scary relatability to him. And when I say that, I don't mean like I relate to Bear. I can understand Bear, but I don't sympathize with him. I think that's another really interesting thing that this film does, is that every character in this, the main four we can look at here, they're all kind of horror character tropes to some extent. And they don't try to be deeper characters, but there's just a natural gray area with everyone in this film. Like, no one is evil, but no one is good. Do you know what I mean? It's the whole film deals with a very effortlessly gray zone. And I think it's very visible within Michael Johnston's performance, and how Curry Barker writes him. And then obviously there's other people like Megan Lawless and Cooper Tomlinson who are also very good in their supporting roles. They are definitely supporting characters, but they feel like they could be a lead in another film as well. They don't just feel like cardboard characters that are there to be killed. And boy, do they get killed, all right. Yeah, Megan Lawless's death I'll get to it. I'll talk about the writing, like, in Curry Barker's scripture with it all. And I think what he's done, there's elements in this film, I will say, like, I think what Curry Barker does, and I've seen interviews with him now as well, based on, like, for Obsession. And I've seen interviews with him as well, like, during Milk and Cereal and stuff as well. And I've watched his short films. And he's very good at making a film that just has a tone and leaves a lot of ambiguity to it. Like, there's things in this film that have, like, moments, but there's no moment where, like, now we're breaking down the lore of the One Wish Willow. You know what I mean? And Curry Barker is kind of a filmmaker, which I appreciate in horror. That kind of just goes, we're throwing out logic for emotion. And that's something that I've loved about the horror genre, is that you can just throw logic and sense to get to just target right for an emotion. And I think a lot of horror, there's a good few horrors I've seen that feel like, oh, we need to explain everything now. And then that sacrifices all tension and all, like, suspense, because now we know it. Whereas, like, the Obsession kind of, it doesn't explain how this works or why it does or whatever. And it just solely kind of goes, okay, now we're just experiencing a horror. But the film does a very good job, I think, as well, in making sure that the film has a simple enough premise to where I'm not asking for answers, you know? I'm just kind of on the ride and accepting what's being put in front of me. And what I really like about it, again, as I said, there's grey areas, and I love that there's grey areas. What I love is that because it's from the perspective of a 20-something male, in the fact of Curry Barker is 26, 27, and he wrote, directed, edited this film where the lead character is a 20-something male who is going through love turmoil, and he's not dealing with it in a healthy way. And what I like about this is it's not necessarily, it's sympathetic to Nikki, and it's sympathetic to the woman in this scenario, while throwing an understanding of the man, of like, hey man, guys feel this way and guys get in their own heads about this shit, and they really should find a healthier way to deal with it. That's kind of the perspective that I've taken away with it, where like Curry Barker is looking at Bear and understanding Bear and being like, hey, look, man, this is a guy, hey, guys feel like this and guys get in their own head. And a lot of guys would make this wish, this fucking monkey paw scenario. And that's a very dangerous thing to wish. I mean, the tagline for the film is "Be careful who you wish for," and that's a very apt way of looking at it. And this film, like, and I think there's so many memorable things in this. And to me, there's never a moment of where I'm like, oh, yes, Bear, I get, yes, good on you for making that decision. It's an immediately bad, like, scenario of like, oh, God, you've just wiped her away to make her an ideal version for you, which is so messed up. And then the film carries that over and just really like emphasizes some horrid moments. And Bear is so fucking complex, man, in the way of like, he does fall into the nice guy trope, in the sense of he's not, he's just so insecure about his feelings that he's almost like, I just wish that she would just love me and that would be easier. But a more accurate wish might have, he could have probably thought about a better way to word his wish. But then we wouldn't have had a film. But it almost does feel like a big fucking warning sign to some extent. This feels such like a film for the youth. It feels like a young film, which gives such an energy to it. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm rambling a lot. There's a lot of, I think, but apart from just the premise, the horror elements in it, there's so much stuff that I'm just going to remember it and really, it's going to really probably get under my skin. There's the one shot of where Nikki is watching Bear sleep, and we cut to the wide, and it gets me every time. And it's almost like Nikki is speaking, but you don't see her until she's clearly like in the corner of the bedroom, and she's shadowed. And then she walks. She kind of tiptoes closer to Bear. And then when he asks her like, "Come back in bed," and she goes, "No," and she kind of like scurries back to the corner. And that movement just went, it just felt so like. Just thinking about it, like I just felt my spine just. I think it's because it was shot so beautifully dim that it really it's so effective in a horror subliminal way. And there's elements as well where it's like where Nikki is just in the dark, and I mean you could look at that in the sense of like Nikki has been put in the shadow and she's just a silhouette of herself. That's a fun way to look at things. What was the other thing that like really got me? That like really like shook me. There's the dinner date scene, which is just excellent performance. An example of an excellent performance, and and Indy Navarrete could have went really far with it, but she kept it on a beautiful like middle ground of like she's going over the top but not too over the top. I'm gutted. I can't remember the other bit that really like sent shivers through me. There's just so much of it. There's so much throughout this film really like emphasizes the anxiety inducing kind of horror. Like there's no jump scares. Oh, that's the other thing. Oh no, there is a bit of a jump scare. And it it kind of fucked me up, man. Like, I just felt numb immediately after it. It's when Bear is with Sarah in the car, and it looks like something's about to happen, and then Nikki just smashes through the window and then just starts slamming Sarah's head on a brick. The slamming the head on the brick didn't do me in. It was the initial smashing through the window, because it just looked so raw. Like, it just looked so, like, fucking, like, it looked real. It didn't look staged. It looked so like I just witnessed that in person. And then and that just shook me up. And then by the time Sarah's getting head slammed on a brick, I just felt nauseous. And that's the thing, like, again, yeah, the film's 8-18 for, like, probably more so for, like, that, like that kind of gore. But for a good chunk of the film, there isn't any gore. There isn't any, like, sickening stuff. But there's a lot of, like visually, like, there's no, like, Saw, like, levels of gore in this film. But it's just the anxiety-inducing, like, scenarios, like the party scene, and fuck, man, it just really shook me up. There's a lot of this film that shook me up, and it's amazing how many times, like, how effortlessly amusing the film is as well. Like, there's a lot of humorous moments in it without being jokes. There's just, like, funny character moments or things that are said that's just funny without being a comedic set piece. And yeah, man, it just really, like, and by the time the ending happens, oh, like, it is that, I think that's the only thing. It's not a complaint. I wish we got more of Nikki, like normal Nikki, or like the understanding of normal Nikki. I wish there might have been a bit more of a fight of Nikki trying to break out. There's that, again, there's the moments of where Nikki starts to snap out of it early on, like the wish is taking its toll, and that, like, shook me when they're first in Bear's bed kissing, and then she snaps out of it for a bit, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And then Bear's like, "What the?" And then she's back to being crazy Nikki. That, like, got me a bit, I will admit. And then there's the moment of, and then this is the moment where, like, Bear almost is made irredeemable, I think. Always sneaking out of the bed. And then normal Nikki is gotten through when crazy Nikki is in bed and she's sleeping, but normal Nikki is saying, "Just kill me, Bear, just kill me." And the takeaway that Bear has from that is, what's so wrong about being with me? Why is that so bad? It's like, dude, you're not, like, the film does such an amazing job at being, like, of, like, taking the concept of someone being in love with the idea of someone over actually being in love with that person, which is terrifying and is horrifying. And although Nikki is the horror character in the film, Bear is the horror cause of it. Bear is the cause of his own horror. And by the time the ending happens, I wish that, like, I don't know. I understand why it ended the way it did. And it is a very impactful ending. And when the credits did start, I didn't want to move from my seat just because I was like, I can't even move I can't even, like, I need to remember how to be a human being again before I move. But I kind of wish that we got to see a bit of Nikki afterwards. Even if I don't know, I don't like doing this, but even if it was, like, I don't know, a police interview or something, I don't know. That's my only like, wish. It's not a gripe. It's just a personal preference. I wish Nikki was seen more. But I guess, I mean, it's similar to why mouthwashing is the video game mouthwashing is so good, in the sense of, like, that the female has been so pushed to the side because of a bloke's desire for said woman that you almost wish she got more. You know, I think that's it. So I guess it's a positive, but also it's not a negative. It's a gripe, but I guess it also works thematically for the film. I can't wait to watch this again because I need to get my head around it. But I mean, the main thing I have to say, guys, is that it's a proper it's sticking with me. Obsession is really sticking with me. And it's not as deep or dark and dour as Bring Her Back. I don't feel as drained after Bring Her Back. I'm like, oh god, I feel absolutely just emotionally rinsed. Whereas Obsession, I'm there's a bit of fun to the film, and there's a bit of want to go back to it. But my god, shit, man. I'm I'm excited to see what Curry Barker does next. And if there's more horror, and again, the beautiful thing about this, it goes, as I said, there's no real horror set pieces. It's just one prolonged, anxiety-inducing nervousness experience. It's great. Obsession is amazing, and I can't wait to watch it again, guys.